Here we go. Hopefully this is better. Hey, Cynthia. There's just a crappy connection, but this looks better. Okay, well, why don't we get started in Shavasana? Get cozy, get comfy. Here we go, Sarah. I think we're better. So nice, easy, relaxed Shavasana. We'll spend the first few minutes just with some breathing. Wherever you're most comfortable. And just see if we can be present for the next few moments. Connected to your breath. So staying present with your inhale, really expanding, embracing that full breath. And similarly, that full, complete exhale. Noticing where you're holding any tension in the body, breathing there. Allowing your inhale to create some space, especially where you need it. And allow your exhale to further soften you into your mat. Bring your awareness back to your breath when the wandering thoughts come over, and they will. And just allow your awareness to be filled as best as you can with just the breath. Nowhere to be but here. On your next inhale, make it a little bigger, a little broader, a little more expansive. And a nice letting go breath out.
really, Ellie.
And just wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, bringing some awareness to your body. And on your next inhale, let's reach your arms all the way up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. You can interlace your fingers and flip your palms to the back of the room. And just really find as much length through your side body as you can. I've got my feet flexed and I'm alternatively reaching from one foot and then reaching through the other foot. Almost trying to lengthen the leg out of the pelvis. Take a big breath in and then just sigh that out and bring those arms down. We'll inhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. And just give them a gentle squeeze in towards your chest and a little bit of rock and roll from left to right. Relax through the shoulders, space between the shoulders and ears. And then continue that, maybe bring the knees a little wider. And just again, gently hugging them towards your chest. And rocking from side to side. And hugging both knees in, let's just circle your ankles. You can do one, then the other. Trace as big a circle as you can with each ankle. Moving in one direction. And after a few repetitions, switching directions. Maybe there's a couple of cracks, pops, that's okay. Good, and then letting that relax. Let's keep your left leg pulling into the chest, straighten your right leg long. Flex your right foot like you're standing on it, soften your left knee to chest. Those shoulders away from your ears and right leg active and connected to the mat. Nice full inhales, and as you exhale, soften left knee to chest. Let's take the outside of that left knee with your right hand, and we'll bring that knee across body into a twist. Adjust as you need to on your mat, and just bring that left hand to a T, palm faces the ceiling. Broaden your collarbones and allow that left shoulder to relax down to the floor. Back of the neck is long, spine is long. Reach through the tailbone to take the curve out of the lower back as best you can. Gently soften the left knee towards the floor. And thinking about that twist through the pelvis and through the upper middle back. Now bend the bottom knee to join the top knee. Now both hips and knees are bent to 90 degrees. And just take several breaths here in this twist. So snuggle those hips and knees up towards 90 degrees. I can gently just support the top knee with my right hand. Again, softening the collarbones, broadening the collarbones, left shoulder to mat. Still lengthening through the spine, reaching out your tailbone. Nice, easy breath here. On your next inhale, let's roll and lay on the right side fully. If you want a pillow, you can always grab a pillow, or you can rest your head on your right crook of your elbow. And we're going to keep the knees and hips bent up to 90 degrees. And then we'll make those big shoulder circles with your top arm. So trace it all around. Try not to twist too much through your lower back. Really reach from your armpit to create a large circumference. Roll your upper body, left shoulder back as you complete the circle. Try and again, keep the hips and knees stacked as best you can. Really find that opening up through the chest, that left shoulder. I feel that stretch all the way down towards my elbow. Big range of motion. A little bit of core just to support your lower back. And we'll do that one more time. Big, big reach. Lovely. Once you come back to your side, stay on the side here. Straighten your right leg and let's reach behind and grab the ankle of the top knee. So now I'm into a sideline quad stretch. I'm going to think of reaching the kneecap away, rolling the left shoulder back and opening up the front of that left hip. Hopefully you can reach that ankle. If not, if you've got a strap, use that, or just bend the knee as much as you're comfortable with. So find what works for you. And just think how open, how long, how aligned can you get that front body? So I'm trying to be in that straight position rather than my hips back behind me. I want my hips and shoulders lined up. Just breathing into that stretch. Let's undo that. Let's let that top knee come down to the mat. So my left knee's down to the floor, down to the mat, hip and knee flexed. And then just bend your lower knee as well. So now I'm in this kind of stride stance. My left leg has my big foot, my inside arch along the floor, foot is flexed. And my back leg, my right leg, my knee is flexed, it's bent, and the pinky side of the foot is on the wall. Now for me, I really want to arch my back here, which is not ideal. So I'm just going to think about, again, lengthening the tailbone, reaching the spine long, and just gently pulling the ribs into the body. So I want to see if I can get that length through that top front bum. And just breathing here. Top arm can just be relaxed. Take a couple more deep breaths. Good, and let's unwind and roll back to the mat. Align yourself back on your mat, and we'll just give those knees a hug in a little bit again. And just notice what you notice. I feel like I've had a little bit of effort on that left glute, left lower back. So a little rocking and rolling. We'll take a nice inhale, squeeze the knees towards the chest. Exhale, straighten the left leg long. Connect the left foot to the floor, flex your foot. Take a big inhale, reach long through the left foot, and soften, exhale, right knee to chest. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Lots of length through that left leg and soften to draw that right knee to chest. On your next inhale, let's take the outside of the right knee with your left hand. And as you exhale, draw that right knee across the body into a twist. Right hand can come to a T. Adjust your upper body, collarbones broad. And just adjust your legs so the twist isn't on the uncomfortable side, but you're moving into that restriction. Think about lengthening the lower back, reaching the tailbone long and down towards your ankle. Softening the right shoulder down to the mat. Letting the ribs settle into the body. So trying not to take up the space and the movement through the spine. Breathing here. And we'll roll all the way over onto our left side. Create a pillow or grab a pillow for your head. We'll straighten the bottom leg. We'll reach below and grab the top of the right ankle. Now you can certainly bend the bottom leg a little bit, but remember we want that nice alignment hip to shoulders. We want to let the knee, top knee rest down towards the other knee. So you don't want that knee right up in the air, but as best you can. Think about reaching the kneecap away, rolling the right shoulder back, and finding length. And again, if it's too much to hold that ankle, just bend the knee and rest that as much as you're comfortable with. That's okay. So roll the shoulder back. Think of almost drawing the hips forward, squeezing your bum, but then watching you don't arch the spine. So tailbone long, tuck your bum underneath you, and find length in that front quad, top leg. Now let's let go of that top leg. Let's draw and let that right knee rest on the floor. And let's bend the back knee so you're in that bit of a twist. I just realized I forgot the shoulder circles, so we'll do those next. So relax your upper body down. You're reaching that bottom thigh away from you, so you want to make sure it's not just bent and tucked in towards your top leg. See if you can reach that leg behind. Both feet are flexed as best you can. And then again, try and take the curve out of the lower back. That's kind of tough to do. So as best you can, make that lower back nice and long and soften the front ribs into the body. Breathing there. Top arm can be wherever you like. Let's bend both knees here. So now we're stacked again. Knees and hips at 90 degrees, feet are flexed. Let's make those big shoulder circles with that top right arm. So I'm going to trace that circle around, remembering to keep the movement to the shoulder and the upper back, as opposed to letting the whole body rotate back to the mat. Big circumference, reach with your armpit. Find as much movement as you have available. And imagine you're tracing that circle as large as you can. So really reaching from the whole shoulder girdle. Big range of motion. Try and relax your head and neck on the mat or on your pillow. And we'll do one more there. When you're finished that circle, let's just rest for a few breaths in that twist. So knees and hips tucked at 90 degrees. And now I've let that upper body fall back to the mat. Again, trying to take most of that out of the lower back, softening down through the shoulders. Easy breaths in. Long breaths out. Now let's inhale to our back. Adjust yourself on your mat. Let's put the feet as wide as your yoga mat, knees bent, feet on the mat, and just gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Really finding that movement at the hips. So turning inwards, turning outwards, as opposed to just moving the whole pelvis from side to side. See if you can really turn in and out through the hips. Nice. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together. Knees are nice and wide. We'll find that Supta Baddha Konasana. Arms can still be at a T, palms to the ceiling, or if you want to take those arms overhead into a Y position or a cactus, you can find that there. Just gently reach the outside of the knees towards the mat and think about lengthening through the inner thigh. Softening the lower back and the pelvis to the mat. One more deep breath in. And exhale out. Gently bring those knees back through center. Snuggle the heels towards your bum. Bring your arms down at your sides. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze your bum, lift your hips. Bridge pose. Long through the spine, really active in the glutes. Press down through the feet, knees reach away. As you exhale, just soften down. And we'll do that one more time. So press into the feet. As you exhale, squeeze your bum, lift up. Open up through the front of the hips, nice and long. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, knees to chest. Give another little hug in. Little rock and roll. Just notice what you notice. And then we're going to roll up whichever way you'd like, and we'll come into our tabletop position. So coming into that tabletop. Okay, so line up that tabletop there. Wrists under shoulders. You can tuck or untuck your toes, your choice. Draw the shoulders away from the ear. And let's move into your cat-cow. So inhaling to arch the spine, draw the shoulders back, lift the gaze. Exhaling to tuck the tail around the spine, reach between the shoulder blades. Use your breath and just move through that as far and as much as you're comfortable with. Just nice and gentle cat and cow. You can get a little more dynamic with it if you want. In terms of as you round, sometimes it feels good to side bend a little, kind of reaching into the nooks and crannies between the rib cage and your pelvis, if that might feel good. And as you inhale and arch the spine, really drawing the shoulders, sometimes it feels good to turn the head and neck. Roll the shoulders a little, just like those scapular circles we'll do in class. So don't be afraid to get a little bit more dynamic in these movements. Good. Now, in stillness in your tabletop here, we're going to do some shoulder circles here as well. So make sure you're neutral or straight through the spine. So I've got a little bit of core just drawing up on the belly. I'm going to reach the right arm forward, create the big circle around, bend the elbow, and just gently take the hand behind the back. Bring that arm back up, reaching around, place it back down, and we'll try the other side. So really keep that stable foundation as you lift the left arm, reach all the way around, bend the elbow, hand behind back, bringing that all the way back around and letting that relax down. Let's do that one more time on each side. Lifting the arm, big circumference, bending elbow, hand gently behind back, all the way back to hand overhead, and bringing that down. And the other side, now I just realized I totally was in an arched back, so try and keep that spine as neutral as possible, so neither rounded nor arched. Awesome, and relax down. And you just come off your wrists for a sec, just circle your wrists. Good. I was telling Sarah, I hope you don't mind, I'm totally in my pajama bottoms. It's just one of those days today. Okay, and coming back down here, let's take that left leg out nice and wide. So wherever you're comfortable with. Doesn't have to be right at the side body, but somewhere to the side there. And seal the pinky side of your foot to the floor as best you can. Bend the knee if that's too much pull or too sore, too tight on the inside of the thigh. And then just gently rock back. So just moving in and out of that inner thigh lengthening position. Thinking again, keeping the spine long. Lots of length to that leg, that left leg. A little bit of an active core, so I'm not going to arch through the spine. Good, let's just do that once more. Good, bring that left leg in, take that right leg long. And just again, rocking back, sealing the pinky side of that right foot to the floor. Just going back as far as you're comfortable with, making sure you're breathing. And just kind of noticing what you notice. Good, we'll do one more there. Good. Then we'll bring that right leg in. We'll bring your knees nice and wide. We'll bring your big toes together. And let's all meet in a nice long child's pose. You can have your shoulders where you like. You can make a little pillow under your forehead. You can take those arms long. And use this opportunity to really breathe into the back body. Really soften the tailbone towards the spine. Find length through the spine. And sits bones wide, groin soft. Bring your wandering thoughts back to your breath as best you can. Just notice what you notice. Good, and then curling up from that child's pose back to tabletop. We're gonna just come up into our down dog. So wrists are under shoulders, fingers are spread wide, really anchor into the index finger and the thumb. Tuck the toes, and as you inhale, lift your hips towards the ceiling. You can adjust the length of your downward dog there if you like. Just bend your knees so that you can lengthen through the spine and lift the tailbone towards the ceiling. Hug your biceps to your ears and then pedal your feet. So find that length of the back of the leg. And really keep rooting down into those hands. Now take your feet wider in that downward dog. So mine are just outside of the yoga mat actually. Bend your knees really generously and then press through your hands and send your tailbone towards the ceiling. But you can keep those knees bent and then just take your hips from side to side. So you're just kind of exploring the tension in the deep glutes, upper hamstrings. My heels are still lifted because that'd be way too tight for me to try and keep them down. But I'm pressing into one hand and into the other hand, taking my hips one way, taking my hips another way. And then just come back into your regular down dog. Inhale, shift forward to your plank. And then you're going to take that left leg across and just rest that outside of that left hip down. Can everybody see that there? So I literally was in my down dog here. I swept my left leg across and then I twisted to the right and sat myself down. And I get that nice pull up that left side body. If that's too much for anybody, just come back into your tabletop, cat-cow, child's pose. But if I press into my hands, do I ever get that opening through that front of the abdominal wall, side abdominal wall, and my hip, my back knee's bent. I can even bend it in further and take my weight back, so I'm almost sitting sideways there. But if you can find that space, that's a nice one. Sarah, if that's too much for you, just kind of back right off. So now let's tuck yourself back up to our tabletop and readjust there, and we'll come back up into our downward dog. So again, just pedal your feet, hug the biceps to ears, chest towards thigh, lengthen through the spine. On your next inhale, float forward plank, and then take your right leg across, soften the outside of that right hip towards the mat, and see what this side feels like. So for me, I get a lot of tension down the outside of that right thigh, kind of hamstring, kind of quads, and I want to turn, I want to do that to take the tension off. But if I can, I'm going to work towards keeping the chest, the upper body facing forward. So I'm in a bit of a twist. But most of our twists, our spine is in neutral or flexion. This twist, we're in a little bit of extension of the spine, and that's okay. So just breathing there. And then let's gently unwind. And let's come back into that nice child's pose. Now, if you want a little bit of a different variation, just bring your knees wide but cross your legs. And then sit back into your child's pose with your legs crossed. So I've just got my legs crossed like so. And then hips back. So just take several breaths there. That last twist we did, it's a good one. I like it, but it's not for everyone. So if any of these poses are not for you, that's okay. First adjustment would be to pull back from that full expression a little bit. Second adjustment would be to shorten the limbs. So in that case, bend the knees. And if it just doesn't feel good, then the child's pose is a really nice position, posture to come back to. Okay, let's roll up from there. And we'll just come into our tall kneeling here, if that's okay with everybody. If it's uncomfortable with your knees at all, you can certainly fold the mat back and give you some more cushion. So in our tall kneeling, your toes can be tucked or untucked, your choice. Think of the top of a bridge, so you're squeezing your glutes a little bit and taking your hips forward. Then we're just going to take our hands behind our head, elbows nice and wide. Roll the shoulders back, tuck the tailbone, so really tuck underneath as best you can. And then just start to arch the upper middle back. See if you can take 3 breaths there. So I'm still squeezing the glutes, tucking the bum underneath, and lifting and arching through the upper back. And then just relax down and just roll your shoulders. Good stuff. And then let's take the hands to the small of the back this time. Tuck your tailbone underneath, roll your shoulders back, and just again, think about from the head and neck, start to lift your gaze, start to lift the collarbones, the chest, and just find a little bit of an arch of the upper middle spine. Take 3 breaths there. Important that you keep squeezing those glutes. And then come back and just roll the shoulders back again. So anytime we do a back bend, we want to squeeze those glutes and support your lower back. Okay, coming back down into child's pose, or not child's pose, sorry, tabletop. And let's just move through cat-cow 2 or 3 more times. So shoulders are back, inhale, lift the chest, round the shoulders back. Exhale, hang the head, tuck the tail, press out between your shoulder blades. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the gaze. And exhale, hang the head, round the spine. Good, and we'll do 1 more. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. And then exhale, soften. Good. Let's come onto our bum. Do a couple more things in sitting here. There we go. Okay, let's find your Sukhasana, so cross-legged seated position. You can certainly come on a pillow if that's more comfortable. We'll have our hands at our side body, and we'll just work through a couple twists. So we'll inhale, take the arms all the way up, and we'll exhale, take the left hand to the right knee, apply that twist, take your right hand behind you, prop your fingers up, roll the right shoulder back, and maybe look over your right shoulder. So again, thinking of being rooting through your tailbone, rooted through your sits bones, and twisting through the shoulders and upper body. Inhale to lengthen the spine, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. And exhale, roll that right shoulder back. Find a bit more of a twist. Inhale, come back through center. Let's change the cross in our legs here. So cross the funny way. Make sure you're right on your sits bones, sitting tall. We'll inhale, take the arms up. And we'll exhale, right hand to the outside of left knee. Roll the left shoulders back, prop the fingers. And just root into the fingers to find even more length of your spine. And as you exhale, move in towards that twist. Rolling that left shoulder back, maybe looking back over your left shoulder. On your next inhale, come back through center. Let's take the legs wide now. Again, you can certainly keep the knees bent or prop yourself up, and your call in terms of how wide. We want the feet flexed, nice and long, tall through the lower back and pelvis. So again, if that's not happening, bend the knees, that's cool, or lift your upper body higher. So we'll repeat the twists with the legs out nice and wide. So hands to side body, inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, take the outside of the right knee with the left hand and find a little twist here. And it won't be probably as much of a twist. And really keep active in your legs and rooted through that left side. So try not to let that left hip roll inwards and off the mat. So active right arm, inhale for length of the spine, tall spine. Exhale, roll and look back over your right shoulder. Inhale back through center. Readjust if you need to. So still very flexed through your ankles, your feet. Hands to side body. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand behind. Roll that left shoulder back and find a twist. Watch that you don't lean back too much. Keep being tall. And then that twist is through the upper back. Keep the rest of that body forward facing. You can use that right hand to really press down and into that left knee. And then inhale, come back to center. Let's bring these knees in. We'll come into your Supta Baddha Konasana, or not Supta, but Baddha Konasana. So bound angle pose. You can hold on to your toes here and just maybe flutter those knees a little. Try and relax through the groin. Spine nice and long. Good. Let's bring those knees back up through center. We'll come down onto our mat once more. So rolling back down. We'll hug knees into chest. And a little rock and roll here. Let's place both feet down on the mat, hip width apart. We'll gently cross your right ankle over your left knee or left thigh. Stay here for a moment. Just reach that right knee away. but keep your left side anchored to the mat. Either staying here, or if it's available to you, reach behind your left thigh and give that left thigh a hug towards you. You can let your left knee relax, your left foot relax. Keep your right foot flexed and keep reaching that right knee away. So maintain that turned out hip position on the right. Trying to keep the spine along the mat. Let your sits bones get wide, relax through the back of the pelvis. Placing your left foot down, unwind, right foot on the mat. Just windshield wiper the knees, the hips from side to side. A couple times here. And then we'll repeat that figure 4 position on the other side. So knees bent, cross that left ankle over your right thigh, flex your left foot. Find that nice alignment here as you reach that left knee away without taking that right side body with you. So level pelvis as best you can. Inhale and then reach down, grab behind your left thigh if this is available to you. Let your right knee relax, let your right ankle relax, but still flex your left foot. And then breathing into that and keeping the spine long. Thinking of breathing into the back of the pelvis, the left glute, the left groin, the left hamstring. Trying to maintain that integrity of that figure 4 position. One more nice breath in. Exhale, soften. And let that right knee hang down. Good. Let's give the knees a hug into the chest and maybe nice and wide. Once more, a little rock and roll. And then we're going to make our way down into our Shavasana, unless there's anything else you'd like to do beforehand. Sometimes, again, happy baby or another twist. Feel free to spend a minute or so in something else, and then we can meet and make our way down into a comfortable Shavasana. Take your time with that. Make sure when you are in that Shavasana, you're quite comfortable. Take time to adjust. Prop with pillows if you want. Cozy up with a blanket. And really see if you can spend the next few moments, the next few minutes, returning again and again back to the focused mindfulness, presence of the breath. Your thoughts will wander, that's okay. But again and again, just bring yourself back to the breath. That's all awareness, that's all meditation is. It's just continuing to bring yourself back to the present. And at present, all that there is just stillness in the body and movement of the breath. And starting to deepen your breath, just bring your awareness back to your body. Notice what you notice. And in your own time, you can roll over onto your right side and gently make your way up to your Sukhasana, your cross-legged seated position. We'll take our hands to heart center. Take a nice deep breath in. Close your eyes, exhale, bow your head. From my light to yours, namaste. Another Thursday.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, you guys. That went better for me than Tuesday night. On Tuesday night, I had the multiple sclerosis group for yoga, and I brought in another teacher, so I was doing the class. So I made her host, which was key. I fell asleep. My computer crashed. I woke up. Everybody's gone. Trying to message them. Everything was out. They're like, "Yeah, where did you go?" Zoom was upgrading that day, so I was like, okay, I hope nothing crashes and everything works tonight. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great long weekend.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. You too.
Way, and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jen.